You're listening to Changing Reality. Changing Reality, where we bend reality all across the world. Only on WQHS Radio.
So hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Changing Reality. So welcome one, welcome all. Changing Reality is a show where we basically interview phenomenal people of all walks of life. So if this is the first time that you're tuning into Changing Reality, welcome as I said. And through this show we'll actually be hanging out and interviewing amazing people from social change makers, entrepreneurs, business owners, to even artists, musicians, industry leaders, and inspiring individuals from all across the world. So, through listening to these inspiring stories, hopefully we'll be able to pick out little nuggets of wisdom that we can use in our own journeys of crafting the careers and the paths ahead of us. And I wanted to do this show simply because I feel like there are a lot of people out there who do phenomenal things and make waves in the lives of those around them. And I'm super passionate about learning how these people are achieving such things through their own capacities and how by doing so they don't only change their own lives but change the lives of those around them. And I'm a big believer that hearing these stories, sharing them around with each other, has true potential to create change in a sense. And that the power of these stories can give you the insights that you need to actually achieve the success that you want to in life. So, personally, to show you how much I love and value the importance of stories in a sense, I actually founded and run a youth movement called Ascendance back at home in Malaysia, which is where I'm from, that collaborates with not only our Malaysian Ministry of Education, but organizations across the world. We work with over 28 different countries to help provide an alternative education platform for any student who wants to change their reality. So we work with students from elementary all the way up to college through various sessions, programs, experiential learning activities, and projects that help them discover their passion, learn about themselves and the world around them, and start their own careers while they're still in school that creates meaningful impact not just for themselves, but for those around them too. And we've been fortunate to date to work with over 35,000 students in 970 communities and have incubated countless number of student-run projects and social enterprises run by students aged 8 to 25 years old themselves. And the basis of all of this is stories. It's kind individuals who've taken their time to share their experiences, their expertise, so that others, especially the students we work with, may learn from those experiences and, as I said, apply those lessons and shortcuts in their own journey in a sense. So, in the same vein of that, I hope that this show, Changing Reality, is that same platform for all of you viewers today, in the sense that through this show, you will be able to pick up the things that you need to change your own reality and, as I said, live the life that you want. And today's speaker is someone who truly embodies that. She's someone who has definitely changed the reality around her, changed herself in a sense, and today creates impact in the lives of so many other people around her. I actually have had the good fortune of knowing her from the work that I do with the Sentence. I think she was one of the earliest supporters that we had. Probably top contender for earliest supporter as well. And it's been over the last 7 years, the support that she's given a Sentence has been truly unwavering. When I first met her, she was introduced as someone who has time and money freedom in a sense. That means, to a sense, that she doesn't need to necessarily work her regular hours and all of that. She has enough funds to sustain, at least for a long period of time in a sense. But she does it, and she does her work in her career because she loves it, and also because it's an avenue to give back. She is none other than the founder and CEO of Simply Empowering, outsourced accounting company that specializes in guiding individuals and businesses to take good care of their business and personal wealth in a sense. She's an accountant, speaker, trainer, and she works with me personally on my finances as well. And she focuses mainly on empowering individuals to take care of their finances in simple and practical manners in a sense. As I said, in both the business sense and the personal sense. So, other than helping businesses and all of that, she's also someone who has given back to the SME community, of the small and medium enterprise community in Malaysia, through her time and expertise as well, and has provided so much good service today with her company in not just in empowering businesses but also training the next generation of finance professionals. So without further ado, let's welcome the amazing Miss Joyce Lim to our virtual stage. Hi, Joyce. How are you?
Hi, that's a very long intro. Thank you so much, Harsha, for having me on this show. I've been following the thing. I was thinking like, what can I contribute here? Those people in interview are so amazing, and I'm just one accountant.
Joyce, that is a serious lie. So I'm gonna have to spoiler something for our audience before we start. We ignore Joyce, everyone, for a minute. But Joyce is actually one of the most humble and kind people that I've ever met. She's someone, as I said earlier, who's been such a huge contributor to the work that we've done, and personally a mentor to me in many things that I've done. So I know for a fact that Joyce is incredibly successful. Has so many clients who owe their life and their business to Joyce in a sense, and at the same time, is someone who's personally successful in, as I said, having your own financial freedom in a sense and your time freedom as well, which is an added bonus on top of that. So, Joyce, we're going to be
Okay,
talking.
thank you for your kind words. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Today is the brag day. But joking, I'll brag for you. But you are someone who is truly amazing because as I've been saying so many times, you have a successful
Mm.
career, you give back to the community, and at the same time you do something that you are passionate about, something that you love in a sense. And that's always kind of like the triple threat, right? You're successful, you give back, and also you do something you enjoy. So you have a holistic, amazing, exciting life that I think many people who probably are planning out their careers in high school or college right now can only dream to live a life like yours in a sense. But I'm very curious in the sense of how you actually ended up running your own business into the place that where you are today in this industry of finance in a sense. I know many people, especially at Penn, who love the finance industry. They're crazy about it in a sense, and probably they'd love to be able to do something similar to what you do. So tell me a little bit about when you decided to get into this finance industry. Was it something that you've always loved? Was it something you just naturally flew into? Or was it something that you hated completely and you're like, no, I don't like finance. I never want to get into this.
Okay. How did I start in this finance industry? Um, I would say being an entrepreneur was never in the plan. I actually intended just to find a job, a secure job, do it for a number of years until I retire. So that was the plan. But it didn't turn out that way because something happened along the way. So I will just tell a little bit of flashback when I was in school. Way back in school, you just do well in school. You study whatever is given to you, you do well in it, and they tell you, okay, you are good in maths, you should take up science subject. And that's how I went in there. And when I was in the science stream, I didn't quite like all the science subject. Or maybe I was afraid of it and I say, I don't think I want to take this because it's kind of tough subject to take. And so I thought going into what we call the art stream, where you do economics, you do accounting, would be a better choice. And so I
Are
move
you
on.
sure that's easier? I find that harder. Okay, continue.
That's in my view, you see, because I don't know anything about this, and at that time there wasn't any counselor or anything to actually or I wasn't really proactive enough to go and ask around, actually what does an accountant do and things like that. It's just that, okay, if you're good in maths, you should be an accountant, you can be a teacher and stuff like that. So that's why when I have to choose the subject to take up in my last year in high school, I choose accounts and maths because I was good in those things. Actually, I was good in maths only. I was only taking accounting at my last year in school. So it is a totally new subject, but I was able to understand and actually do well in it. Lah. So when it comes to choosing a degree, and of course you want to be in the top university at that time, so that's what happened to me. And based on my result, I was able to be accepted in the university. And based on my result, accounting was one of the options. And so then it went into accounting. So it sort of like steered me towards there based on what I'm good at or how well I do in the exams. So back in university, it's more on there's nowadays they have internship where you go and figure out whether these are the things that you want or not. But at that time, we don't have that. So after the 4 years in the university, I applied for a job, and I actually never really set any expectation where to go, but I only know that I want to go to the big accounting firm to gain my experience to be so that I can apply for membership as a qualified accountant. And so one of the interview, and they kind of like how I answer, I guess. If not, I will get accepted in the job. So I was there, and it was a very, I would say, looking back, it was a one amazing experience, because a lot of them is actually like we were very young team at that time, in a sense that they are the young people, and then they are of course the senior people there. And one of the good thing about this one of the big four that I was in was that they always encourage us to interact as a team, in the sense that we go out audit as a team, and we also have group outings, so that in a way you interact outside of work. So you get to know your friends and your colleagues in a different environment, and somehow you get closer, because you see a different side of people, right? And you are really how do I say, you in that environment, I was very fortunate to really meet good friends, and who are very sharing and very collaborative, because they don't hold any information. Because at that time there wasn't any classes to learn about Word and Excel, and my colleague actually shared her knowledge and experience. I don't know where she got it, but she was just teaching me, okay, this is what you do and things like that, and then it was so amazing that I get to learn from her. Okay, so in a way, I still remember her from, from then.
The
Um,
Excel and Word teacher in a sense.
yeah, because it is really different at that time, because it was so amazing that somebody actually willing to share with me. And it was, I guess, after that, it gave me the, how do I say it? Not to say the idea, but more on the more reasons for me to actually share my knowledge and experience with other people. Because when I look back, there was someone who is actually in a way a stranger, although they are my colleague. I mean, you just know the person not too long, and they are really willing to share what they know with me. So it sort of it'll give me that idea or the confidence to actually say, somebody has actually shared with me their knowledge and experience. I should do the same to others. I guess that's the seed of where you say, you give what you know to other people without any reservation. Because in this industry, sometimes you think that, after I share with someone or I train someone, they will go and take over my job, right? Not so, which is, it never really crossed my mind. I think it was probably due to her, sharing whatever she can with me without any reservation, and that actually caught on with me, and I'm more willing to share with others. Okay, so I think that part of it. Did I answer your question, or I just diverted somewhere else?
No, I think that you did answer the question in a sense. And what I'm very curious as that, because again, you're so humble, I must brag for you, that you seem to have up and like a perfect life story. I would say you did really well in school. You got your bachelor's degree from University of Malaya, which is I think
Ah,
the number one university in the country. The third,
at that
even
time.
right now, the number one. No, even now, the number one university in the country, third best university in Southeast Asia, and I think 49th in the world at that time when you were studying, in a sense. So a huge institution is a huge achievement in itself. Then you go and work at this big four, and then I think the next step in your career is or next step in the plan of the successful career is you actually went and worked in-house at a corporation, in a sense, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that was the plan. That was the plan. But
that was
things
the
didn't turn
plan.
out as
Okay.
planned. Yeah, things didn't turn out as planned, because I think mainly because of myself, in a sense that when I choose to leave the audit industry, was because I couldn't handle the stress that comes with it. And I would say it's me, because there are others who are there and they are doing fine. They do very well. They climb up the corporate ladder in that area. So it shouldn't be the industry, right? It should be me. So having that awareness now, I know it is because I couldn't handle the stress, and I don't know how to ask for help at that time. So um so when I went to another job, I was thinking, thinking I'll go and look for some medium-sized company, and life would be much easier because I just need to do their accounts, which was not the case because there's a different challenges there. There's something called
Oh,
office
I see
politics.
the logic.
So it's something called office politics because it's something which does happen in certain offices. And of course, if you know how to handle it, you should be able to survive there. But again, I don't know how to handle, and I did I would say, the coward's way out to actually move on to another company, thinking that, I will just find the right environment, not knowing that if I don't learn how to handle stress, different environment will give me different kind of stress. And the last environment in terms of the employment part will be this company that actually went into special administration because they were having some financial crisis at that time. It was during the 1997, 98, where we have the Asian financial crisis. And that company was not able to pay their loans. And they were put under special administration by their bankers. So it's a different kind of stress because here you are having to do the work, knowing that it will eventually close down and you have to find another job. Okay. So of course, when the time came for me to find a new job, I actually did apply. But then I find that it's very different environment out there or different scenario out there because I always thought that being an accountant, you have the skill, you have the knowledge, whichever industry you go to, you'll be able to handle. But that was not what the basically is the 1-2 company that I went for interview for gave me the impression that that's not what they want. They want people who are skilled from day one, meaning that they are not willing to give you the time to get used to the new environment or the new things that you're going to do. So I was in a dilemma because if I continue on this path, I will eventually, if let's say another crisis happen, I will actually face the same scenario and actually worse off because I'm actually more senior and the expectation for the pay scale is a bit higher at that time. So it will be more difficult for me to actually look for a job because most of the time, if from the accountant's point of view, I can totally understand this because you want to manage your costs, you will hire someone with similar skills, but you pay less. Is
Heartbreaking, but yeah.
it's heartbreaking, but I know from the accountant's point of view is reasonable. All right. So then I decided, like, I don't want to be in this environment where I'm being how to say, I don't really have any control. So I thought being self-employed would be a better option. And so I went into self-employment. However, because I don't have the necessary skill sets and I am not the one who really good at marketing or learn or interested in learning about marketing, when I went to self-employment, you really need to go out there and do some surveys and stuff like that. So I wasn't very good at it, and I would say because of that, I went into financial debts because I need some funds to actually keep me afloat, during that scenario, during that situation. And that went on for close to about 6-7 years before I met my mentor, and things sort of changed after that lah. Okay,
But
so
this is a very interesting point in a sense because many times I feel like we talk about how the financial crises affect institutions like banks and companies and all of that, but we seldom talk about the people effect that it has in a sense, the fear of job security, the mass retrenchments and all of that, and what it does in a sense to the industries that it is in. So it's very interesting that you actually brought this up because you as a professional at that point of time in a sense had to pivot your whole career due to that crisis in a way, and that essentially set the foundation for what you're doing. And I also like that point you mentioned about as like an individual who's been in employment to suddenly jump into self-employment. Sometimes we may lack the skill set and all. I'm someone who will always be first to admit that if I was just straight away given a business to run or to make money for myself, I would fail miserably. And I haven't even worked anywhere, so I can only assume that it must be harder for those making that switch in a sense. So tell
yeah.
me a little bit, Leah, about kind of like that period of time in your life, those couple of years where you where you were attempting to do the self-employment thing and all of that. You mentioned having these loans, these debts and all of that. What was kind of like the reciprocal emotional journey that we were going through at that point? Because it probably wasn't like necessarily the most fun and happiest time in a sense, right?
Of course, it's not the happiest time. I mean, it's I would say one of my saddest time. But actually, if you are frankly, I can say I don't remember much what happened there. It's more of me drifting in life, and because I don't really know how to ask for help at that time, and people are actually afraid to talk to me about it because it's like maybe it's an Asian thing. You don't talk about your problems to other people, right? So is you are kind of like miserable and you are actually fearful in a way because of something called ego, because you don't want other people to know that you're not doing well, right or not? I don't know about I mean, you try to put up a front, you try to be, still okay, you go out there and show that you're still okay, because you don't want other people to know. But actually, sometimes when you are really not okay and you approach the right people, which happened to me in the sense that when I met the right person, that person actually helped me to get out of that, helped me to get out from my emotional, I guess my emotional, what you call it, uh,
Turmoil.
turmoil or negative emotions that I had at that time, you know so you just need, probably I would say that sometimes you need to open up yourself on that part during that time. I am very blessed that when I open up, or I was guided to open up lah, because you don't really suddenly open up to someone. It is like when you are in that scenario of despair, sometimes you just don't know who to reach out to and things like that. And fortunately for me, nature sent me someone who is very willing to work with me. Although I was this uncooperative person who don't talk much and things like that, so you don't really know what's going on in my mind at that time. So he was there, my mentor, Elango Diagu. He was there to actually listen. He was there to be my friend. He was there to actually guide me slowly, to not to build my business at that time. It was actually to build myself, because at that point of time, one, I don't have confidence, right? I don't have any confidence to go out there and meet people, to share with them what I can do and things like that, because I have self-doubt about myself. My friends are doing well, I'm not. So something is wrong, isn't it? Even though people don't tell you, you know something is wrong. So that's what happened, in the sense that he started to build me up, build me from ground up, meaning that one, he looked at the emotional part. When you have a friend who can listen to you and make no judgment, you definitely feel better. Okay, so you free up that space in you where you have less negative emotion, because you have poured it all out. That's one thing. And then physically, of course, we started when you are able to actually go out there, move around a bit and things like that, you physically, you get a little bit better. Although there was a time where I had a medical crisis where I need to take care of, and I was recuperating at home. But the good thing that came out of it is that it gave me a glimpse of what I can possibly do in or how else can I provide my service as an accountant. Because in my mind, I always thought that being an accountant, I need to go to the client's office, do the work, and come back. But here, when I was recuperating at home, my mentor actually asked me, hey, since you're at home and somebody needs help in doing their accounts, can you help them to do it? Then I say, but I cannot go to their office. How am I supposed to do their accounts? Right? No, I'm not mobile. I
Yeah.
cannot teleport. Right?
Fully work
So
from home era.
yeah, so that time before the work from home era lah. So what happened was, he said, no, it's okay. They will provide all the information to you, because at that time we have email already, so it's fine. Okay, they will send the email to you. You just do your work and then you email back to them. So, and that's how I would say that's how it all started, in the sense that, oh, okay, I can provide this kind of service. Is it? I don't need to physically be in office. So that actually free up some of my time, because traveling takes time. With all the traffic and things like that, it takes time. So, if I'm working from home and with the good internet, I can actually do the work and have actually a little bit more time to do the work. and also a little bit more time for myself lah, in the sense that I'm able to actually take more rest when I'm at home and things like that. And with my mentor being there, is like he sort of, there's somebody who can in a way guide me to actually expand my business. So the business is not expansion in the sense that I go out there and do marketing. It's maybe strange to some people. It's actually me having the confidence that I can do this business. And business actually came when it's more like referral. Somebody referred another company and things like that. And at that time, my mentor was actually mentoring startups. So there's a natural pool of business for me. That's one thing. And then the others actually came when my confidence went up that I can provide this kind of service, and people start coming looking for me to do the work lah. So that's how I move into this part of entrepreneurship in a sense.
It's very interesting because earlier we spoke a little bit about the self-employment chapter in your life, in a sense, where without the I would say the internal tools, in a sense, to take on self-employment, it ended up not being a good experience for
Yeah.
you, in a sense. What do you think were maybe some of the things that were different now, when once you had a mentor, once you had an environment, in a sense? What were kind of like the main lessons or characters that you had to build in order to successfully be an entrepreneur?
I think the difference, if you look at it from that way, it's kind of like nice that you asked that. So it gave me a reflection time, So what is so different? Being self-employed, you're still on your own. This one is there. It's just my mentor is there. Of course, with a mentor, he can guide you. That at that time, they are also my seniors who are also guiding me. So what actually is the difference? The difference is that when I was doing self-employment, I'm into something which I think I can do, but I'm not really keen on doing. It's something whereas in this area of outsourced accounting, I actually do like accounting. It's just that how I provide the service, or in what environment am I providing the service. Because when I was in employment, I have different scenarios, right? I mentioned that it's like some are good, some are not so good. There's some friction here and there, things like that. But here I'm more in control, in the sense that I can choose who I work with. After a certain time now, when I'm better financially, I can actually choose my client. So there's a little bit sense of freedom there, in the sense that when you are okay financially, if certain clients are not who you want to be your client, you can actually let go. Okay.
You fire your clients. You cannot fire yourself from your job. You can fire your clients. Okay.
Actually, in a way, it's fire yourself from the job and things like that. But there are people out there who still tolerate the client or whoever it is. Some just don't cut it with you lah, because not because they are no good, because they have certain different value system that is different from yours. Okay, so I also learned this thing about letting go of clients from my mentor, because it's not easy to let go, because you are getting income from there. To actually cut off a client means that you are actually stopping income from coming in, right? But the other part of it is that if you don't let go of some clients, another client cannot come in. You never know whether the other client is better, right?
I think we've all been brought up to be a bit conservative about things. They always have these proverbs like a bird in hand is better than two in the bush, and all that nonsense, in a sense, at times, which sometimes makes us feel a little bit, I would say, hesitant to let go of like existing clients. And it's something that even I struggle with today. Whether it's with team members or whether it's with clients, in a sense, I think that is an issue that everyone faces when it comes to letting go people. Tell us maybe about your first initial experiences of seeing that maybe that misfit between client and partner, in a sense, that you had to stop with the client, in a sense, and having the faith and the confidence to gain new clients, in a sense, and being willing to let go those original ones.
I think at that time wasn't really a very conscious choice. When in the beginning, it's not very conscious. All right. There was one particular client I wasn't really having problem with. It's just some misunderstanding, miscommunication here and there. And then my mentor was telling me, is it looks like my client is taking advantage of me. Okay. And so sometimes you can just, renegotiate or do something and then just retain the client. But my mentor was saying that it's actually not worth it. If they're going to do this once to you, they may do it another time and things like that. So it's okay. And at that time, I don't have time, money freedom. But somehow he say, you can let go of this. And because of my belief and faith in him, I actually let go of the client. Okay. So, and in the beginning, nobody can have like total faith in the beginning, right? There's always this fear. Of course, the fear is there, but he was there to reassure me that, things are still okay. You still have your other clients. The money is still coming in. You can look for new clients and things like that. So sometimes you just need that reassurance. Okay. So when it's like you just go and do your job, she said, just do your job, do well in your job, and do your best in your job. So that's what I did. And of course, another client came to actually replace that and things like that. But now, when I look at it, it was I keep telling you that I'm very fortunate because of my mentor. Because at that time, it's actually sowing the seed that you are able to let go. Although at the time when I'm not doing so well, you actually learn to let go at that time, and then you see that other jobs or other clients come in. So eventually your faith in that if you let go of certain jobs, another job can come is there already. So eventually as your business grow, you are okay to let go of certain jobs in that sense, because you have that build up that faith that uh if you do what you need to do, other clients will actually come in to actually fill in the gap. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense. And I also like that point you mentioned about faith in a sense. I feel like when we have mentors, it's a two-way process in the sense that we have faith in them before we have faith in ourselves, and they have faith in us before we have faith in ourselves in a sense. And it's
Yeah.
often not only hard to find a mentor like that, but it's also hard to be able to open up to people like that in a sense, or have that level of trust both ways
Mm.
in a sense. And from your story, in a sense, there have been ups, there have been downs in a sense. So I'm sure that it wasn't easy for you to open up as well. I remember one of the first few stories that Ilungo Tiagu, your mentor, who I was also very fortunate and get to mentor me in a sense, used to say something like, Joyce used to be so quiet in a sense that if you ask her a question, she will either just say or she'll just nod or she'll shake her head, and it won't even be a yes or no question. So he used to
Yeah.
share all these cute stories of how you started off in a sense and how you opened up over time. Tell me first a bit about how you met your mentor in a sense and that process of learning to trust and have faith and open up after having some not so good experiences prior to that have brought you into your shell.
Mm, I was I actually I would say I somehow got myself into this awareness based program because I couldn't say no to the person who introduced me, and I'm sure some of us have gone into that same scenario. Okay, we got sometimes get ourselves into trouble because we don't know how to say no. So I was there not to learn. I was there to actually pass the time and tell my the person who introduced me that I have been to the workshop. But strangely, or maybe not strangely, at that time in one of the session, it just has this, because it's an awareness based program, right? It's supposed to raise your awareness about yourself and
Awareness
probably
is here.
all those things. So it is like it give you that sudden spark of awareness that, hey, something is wrong in your life. You don't have income, you have a lot of debts, you are not happy, something is wrong, isn't it? And so, and I've because I felt that, then I approached the facilitator and said, what do I do next? Then he said, go and meet the trainer lah. And here I am, someone who never go and approach a trainer before, never talked to any trainer before. You find me at the end of the room one. Okay. So I it was strange. It's like, but I just felt it was really wrong. Something was really wrong in my life. And I actually took time to actually go and call him, meet up with him and things like that. And even our first meeting is I would say very strange. I was waiting for him outside, wait until the time comes. Okay, it's meeting time. I will go in. I was there much earlier, about half an hour earlier. I just don't know what to do, and it was so uncomfortable. But of course, we went there, and then he asked me some questions which I totally cannot remember, and I do not know what I answer. But eventually, he gave me not say instruction, but more of what to do next. So I guess here I am is like I don't know where I'm going, what I'm going to do, and things like that. And suddenly someone gave you an instruction, or a way what to do next. You just follow. So he said, okay, let's do this. We meet up again, and maybe we go for a dinner, we go for a movie, and things like that. And then you'll be thinking, what has that got to do with everything, right? You're going for a movie. What has that got to do with me building my business and things like that? But actually, what he's doing is actually to bring me out from my shell because I'm very unhappy at that time. Unhappy people are not able to grow business. Okay, they can't even do the business. Right? So you need to be at least, at a certain emotional, level of happiness first before you can actually do your work properly, I would say. And to actually eventually grow your business, you need to be really, for me lah, personally, I need to at least be happy with what I'm doing, excited about it. It will be very sad that I do the accounts like, okay, when can I finish this? When can I, when's the next one coming? It become very boring, and then it just totally drain your energy. But when you're excited about it, okay, how do I solve this thing? How do I do this thing? When can I finish this work so I can go on to the next one? Things like that. So the excitement actually help you to want to be happy, of course. Secondly, is actually to also build that happy vibes to actually attract more clients to you because then and you're happy doing your work and doing your work well. So those people who wants someone to help them to do their accounts properly will come and look for you because you're actually attracting them. But if I'm one miserable accountant, I'll probably attract.
No, okay, that's a very nice way to put it in a sense. Unhappy people do not run successful businesses. We should quote you on that in a sense.
No, but then
No,
I
no,
mean, if you go and meet a business owner, right, and then they give you some sad story, miserable story, do you think you want to work with that person?
okay, true. And I think fast forward to today, you're someone who not only has so many amazing clients under you, you've not only helped them grow their business in a sense, and you've not only like I know when we started Ascendance and you were the person who took care of our finances and all that, we were a small tiny company. Today we actually have finances and we actually have a
To
need
manage.
for finances
Yes,
and
yes.
for it to be
And,
managed.
and
And
more things for me. Last time was very simple. Your basic things will do, but now it's like it's grown so thinking what to do next, how do you manage it better and things like that.
yeah.
Am I okay?
I don't know if you froze or I froze, but I got the gist of what you were saying in a sense. And I guess my question for you is like you've grown with many of your clients in a sense, from many of them when they're small today when some of them are even $1 million companies in a sense, to a point where you yourself have a successful business in just managing all of these finances and have your own time and money freedom. For in that journey in a sense of doing that, I'm sure you would have seen other entrepreneurs as well, not just yourself. So those who were probably in similar situations of clearing up their debt, of having to grow their business. In your opinion, in a sense, what has been the biggest mistakes or the
Too sure what
mistakes? Sorry, can you hear me? All right.
happened.
All right, I think we're just having a little bit of an internet lag issue. So we shall await Joyce to come back for her amazing answer. So that's how important this question is in a sense. Meanwhile, if you have any other questions, you can let us know in the chat below. Any other topics around today's discussion, you can let us know in the chat below as well. And don't forget to always like and subscribe to not only our channel but also to the videos to show how much you appreciate the amazing speakers who actually come on board and share their experiences with us. All right. So one of the things that I love about Joyce, maybe as we wait for the comeback, is she's actually, as I was saying, someone who's seen a lot of her clients grow in a sense. So as she said, she worked with a lot of startups initially, and then today she's actually someone who's seen those startups grow from small businesses to $1 million businesses. So I think Joyce has returned. So let's bring her back to the screen. Sorry, I think we had an
Sorry, something
internet
happened.
disconnect.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
internet disconnected, and at the point when share more things, right? Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
What was
the
the question?
most important question that I was gonna ask you in a sense.
Yeah.
So what I was basically asking in a sense is you've seen a lot of these businesses, not just as an entrepreneur who has grown your own business, but you see a lot of people grow their businesses in a sense. From your point of
Okay.
view, what do you think has been the biggest, I would say, challenges or mistakes that people make when they want to move from employment to running their own business that stops them from being able to excel in their business or their journey as an entrepreneur?
I think one part of it is the finances. No doubt about it, because sometimes you are, how do I say, the fear of not having enough is very strong in most of us. Okay. When you have fear of that you don't have enough to cover your expenses the coming month, I don't think you can focus on your business. That's one part. Okay, so that's one. Two is to have faith that it will all be okay in the end if you focus on doing your job well. Because a lot of times people are looking for quick results. When I work on this, I should get my returns within a year and things like that. I have seen businesses that was still at the initial stages of business where they still have need funding from other people, and some of them the owners actually take very minimal salary and things like that, but they are very passionate about what they do. And now I can see them having reaping their efforts, reaping the results from their efforts, because now their business have grown and people know them out there. They are well known for the work that they do and things like that. So is us having the faith that believe in the things that you do lah. I believe that you need to have that faith, even though it may take some time, but if you continue on and you're really really passionate about what you do, it will work out in the end. Of course, you must have the right attitude and approach towards things, in a sense that you are looking at business that is always ever changing. So you must always look for solutions, look at what can help you to grow your business, and willing to let go of things, I guess. Let go of people who doesn't support your business. Let go of people who are have a lot of opinions about your business but has no idea how to run your business. Okay, there are a lot of people out there who are like that, so you just have to ignore those things, because if not, it will get to you. They'll be asking questions like, so when are you guys going to break even, and start showing profits and things like that, you see. So I think for some of the businesses, the owners are very very passionate about what they do, and they believe that they can contribute back to the society based on what they are doing, and they are impacting a lot of people's lives and things like that. So they still continue on, although they may not see the result at that point of time. But now they are much better, of course, because of their persistency, because of their belief in what they do. It actually does turn out well after that.
Okay, that is very amazing, and it also encapsulates, I think, your journey in a sense, and how that reflects in kind of like the elements that you see in other people's journey. On the other side of things, you don't just help these startups grow in a sense. You also help many finance professionals actually come into their own space in the finance industry. Simply Empowering is not just a company that you run alone. You have a huge team, I would say, that does different sections, from personal finance to working with people who are sitting for their accounting ACCA exams, to giving industry participation, to upcoming finance professionals, on top of your regular business and your main chunk of things, which is serving clients in a sense. So a huge area of services today, with teams of people who work on this full time, some people who are part time freelancers. And for you, one of the things that I've noticed about your team, which is very fascinating, is despite all of you being finance professionals, you do not fit into the typical mold of finance professionals that people think of. I mean, people have this. Sometimes I've heard that they have this opinion of accountants that they're very quiet, they're very, I would say, reserved, much like the picture that you were painting earlier. But from what I know about you now, at the very least, and from your team in a sense, you are all very vibrant. I would say very exciting people who are always looking at what's the next challenge, what's the next idea in a sense. And that must show something as from you as a mentor and a leader who has built this team in a sense. So how have you gone about creating a culture where these different individuals who come to your team can flourish in this industry and find their own footing in it? How do you do that as someone who runs a business and at the same time provides that space for them to try things out and keep their spark alive, I would say?
I must give credit to my mentor who actually guided me to actually build this. It's not my effort alone, okay. But one of the things that I realized is that I must want to build a team first. That means it has to start with my thoughts that I want to build a team, because if not, whoever comes will not fit in. Okay, that's one. Really,
I'm sure many people, they say they want to build a team, but in their thoughts, they're like, oh my god, why?
yeah,
Don't
they don't really want a team, because it actually happened to me, because my mentor has been telling me that you need to more people in your company and things like that. I will say yes, 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 but no one came, because frankly I don't probably I don't see the need at that time, because I was doing fine. So he had to literally send someone to me and ask me, can you do what you can with this person, train her up to be an accountant, because she was studying for professional papers and things like that. So she wants to be an accountant. So can you work with her and show her the ropes lah, basically. So here I am innocently guiding this person and things like that, not knowing that this person will be a major part of my team later. Okay. And so I just, at that time, he just say, share what you know, just teach lah. So I say, okay lah, I just teach lah. So whatever I know, I try as much as possible to share with the person. And amazingly, the person didn't run away, because one thing is I don't know how to teach people. That's the truth.
back then. Now you grow already. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more on, sometimes different people have different approach of learning, and I'm still like, I haven't really taught anyone, so it would be an experiment for me. And but somehow it seems okay, because like I said, I have my mentor, and my mentor is also mentoring the other person, so it's an advantage for me, because anything that needed help with, my mentor actually comes in and help. Okay, so we work together on the accounts part of it first, and it went on for a while. So we grow our outsourced accounting business and things like that. Then one day it was actually came out from the how do I say, the passion from the third member of my team, the core team. Okay, so her name is Vishnu. Vishnu basically teaches. It may be strange to some people, because it was strange to me, because when I was doing my professional paper, I don't actually need a tutor to help me. So when she told me that she actually tutors people to pass their exam, it was like, do people actually do that? But they are people who need further help lah. Okay, so, and her business grow from there. But they also realized that the exams is one thing. When Vishnu came and worked, he realized that there's this gap between experience and theory. So she became very passionate about sharing this with other people. about with her students and with other people out there and things like that. And that's how we actually started off with a workshop for accountants to actually learn a little bit more of what are the other aspects of accounts. Okay, and we started off with three people, three participants, and now it has grown to at least about 17, 18 people per workshop. And you remember the thing I said about that I'm not good at marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout my whole
That is
career, I
the
believe
thread here.
my one skill that I really need to learn. Then is sometimes is instead of you doing it yourself, if you can go into the mode of collaboration, when you collaborate with someone who is skillful in marketing, it really does wonders for your business because Vishnu is really one amazing marketer. Okay, so in a way, it's like she's a very good fit in it. She can do marketing and she can also do her own business and also help out with the workshop and things like that. So this is one thing, but we are still not complete yet, because doing a workshop, and especially when we're doing online, the engagement of the participant is something which all of us are learning. And then came the expert in the form of Madura, who is actually my first, how do I say, my first,
The one who
first
didn't run away.
person who didn't run away. And she's actually the co-founder of Ascendance. I think you know her very well. And she has tons of experience, in doing workshops and training. And that's where the expertise actually came in, and it was a very good fit. All of us have bring into the table a different skill, and we actually made something new out of it, and we made it in a very successful business in a way. Okay, so sometimes we don't, I feel like some businesses we talk about, oh, I must be the one person who do everything, that I must have everything under one roof. But if you can collaborate with different people, who are skillful in that area, sometimes it give you a different, how do I say, a different business, probably I would say business product or services. That's one. And then it come to a stage where you don't need to learn everything or to have everything to actually provide a service. You can collaborate with people. And that's one of the things that we actually advocate a lot in, I think, in ET Ideas, is collaboration. We look at what you are skillful at, what you are good at, and where can you fit in and work as a team. And this is one example of different people, different skill set coming together and build something together that is truly successful in that sense and impact other people, because some of them, we are talking about a skill to actually do a full set of accounts. It may think like it's something very simple, but really when they come in to actually do the work, some of them can't really do it. So we are actually trying to help them to gain that skill. Okay, so we see the impact in their life. Some of them has gone on to actually have more more presence in their company, and some of them actually came out to do more also freelance accounts and things like that. And so that's where the fear of people taking over a job will come, which you still need to manage, because one of the thing is that yes, you build more accountants, more skillful accountants. They may take some jobs, but I'm only one person. I cannot provide to everyone in the market. So, if I'm able to help someone to provide that service to someone else, and that person benefit it, I think I've done what is best for me and for that person. Okay, so
No, definitely, definitely. And
uh,
I think that that's a very, very nice way to, as we wrap up, in a sense that you not
yeah.
only, I would say, grow your business, but you give back into helping other people grow their business, not just in other industries, but even in your own industry, in a sense. And as you
Mm.
said, I feel like that's a very human way to approach entrepreneurship, in a sense. Because one of the things, no, I'm serious, I'm serious. And as we wind down our conversation, maybe for the last question, I know already, right? Time flies so fast. But anyway, but maybe
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the, yeah,
Okay.
you
Last
were
question.
worried that you wouldn't have enough to share. I think I have too many questions not to ask you. I'll limit myself to one, in a sense.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but one of the main things that I can't, that I pick up from throughout your story is you're like, when people normally say entrepreneur and things like that, they always have a certain type of person in mind, a very extroverted kind of person, good at sales, very charismatic, very competitive in a sense. which personally I feel I don't fit any of those. So I think you are
Right.
much more an inspiring entrepreneur than most people out there, at least to me in a sense, because I think I can relate to you more than most people out there. And seeing you as someone who's successful, I think at a young age is what I think inspired me to at least pursue entrepreneurship and have confidence in myself. So first of all, thank you. But second of all, for other people out there who maybe they don't fit the mold of entrepreneurship, or they don't fit the typical stereotype of how an entrepreneur looks like in a sense, what's your advice for them to start pursuing their own career through this world of entrepreneurship in a sense?
I think is I always believe in focusing on what you do best, meaning that don't try to be good at everything. I mean, areas, right? There are accounts, there's audit, there's also the tax part, and there's also
The whole
other
financing this.
business advisory and things. There's not a lot of finance is very good in everything. I collaborate, meaning that I see who can fit into my business. Yes, I may not earn that money, but I feel that my client is better served by someone who's good at that area rather than me trying to be good at everything and then be what they call half past six in all areas, right? I rather focus and be good at what I do and collaborate. And of course, it based on my, not to say a little experiment, but more on that the result that we got from combining three people to form something amazing, this amazing team that we have. I feel that it is the way to go in terms of business in the future. Collaborate with people who can bring you higher, of course. Okay. Once you see they can fit in, of course it's going to be a trial and error thing. It's not going to find the best fit. All right. I have people coming into the business, they do an internship and they come and they go, they don't stay. Mainly also because of the character fit, their value system are different and things like that. So I think if you talk about entrepreneurship, growing your business is always a continuous, how do I say, a continuous learning, finding the right people, finding the right product, finding the right services, finding the right approach to actually market your product. And sometimes some things amazing can come out from collaborating. You never know that when you partner with someone, some amazing product or amazing service can come about and both can grow at the same time. So instead of competing, you can actually collaborate and bring your business higher.
All right, very, very well said. And I think that's the perfect note to actually end our session for today. Thank you so much, Joyce, for being on our show and for sharing your experiences and the very human parts of entrepreneurship with us today. I don't know about the audience, but I definitely learned a lot from you, which I talk to you very often. So but still, I feel like today's session taught me so much. I need to go home and digest and relax after this. But thank you. I really do appreciate you being on the show and sharing this. And I hope that the audience had as much fun as I had and that you had as much fun as I had recalling your experiences with this.
Yeah, but it's like one of the things you will notice that there's a lot of obstacles in this thing. So in business, it does happen, but you just have to continue on and continue the business and finding solutions. I guess that's one of the lessons I got from here, because really there's so many things that's happening that that you need to handle, to make this happen. You see, so it's the same in business. You never know what will happen, so you just need to have the right mindset to actually focus and just work on the thing that you are really passionate about.
All right. Well, thank you, Joyce. And to our audience, thank you for joining us for today's session of Changing Reality. Do join us once again every Thursday at 10 p.m. ET and whatever time that is around the world. So for now, make sure you like, comment, and tell us how much you loved today's session in the chat below and any other topics that you want to talk about too. And with that, I think we'll officially close our session today. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
You're listening to Changing Reality. Changing Reality, where we bend reality all across the world. Only on WQHS Radio.